हेलो, माय नेम इज़ प्रियांशु और आप देख रहे हैं स्टैटिस्टिक्स माय पैशन। और इस वीडियो में एक क्वेश्चन आपके लिए लाया हूँ और चलिए देखते हैं। इस क्वेश्चन में आपको सबसे पहले तो ये दिख रहा ही है कि प्रोबेबिलिटी फंक्शन है जो आपको दिया है f(x) के साइन 1/πx और आपको निकालना क्या है, इसका कांस्टेंट k निकालना है और ऑब्टेन द मीडियन निकालना है आपको और क्वार्टाइल्स निकालना है। So in this question we will find the constant, median and the quartiles. So this is basically a chapter from the probability distribution of a random variable. Now first of all we have given the distribution function f(x) is equal to k sin 1/5 pi x, and the limits are 0 to 5. Now the function is k sin 1/5 pi x. This is not integrable under the limits, so we have to change the limits and also this term. So we have to suppose that this term y is equal to, suppose y is equal to 1/5 pi x. So in this case, when we put y against 1/5 pi x, so we will get k sin pi y. So now, and limits also changed. If put 0 in the place of x, because these are the limits of x, so we first of all we put the value of x 0, so we find the value of 0. So this is the limits of y because the function is converted to y. Now the second limit is converted to 1/5 pi and 5. So the limits, second limit is pi. So 0 to pi is the limit of y. Now we can write 0 to pi. So this is the new function of our question. Now we will find the value of k. So how to find the constant in this case? We integrate and we put the values equal to 1. Now how to integrate? The limits are given 0 to pi and the function is given k sin yi in respect of dy. So this is not given because the question is from in respect with x. Now the question is will changed in respect of y, so we also change the value of. So first of all we differentiate with respect of y, x. So we have pi upon 5. So 5 dy and pi dx. So this is the value of dx. So you can write in place of dx 5/pi dy is equal to dx. So again I explain you how to do. So first of all we have in the question, we will have to given in the question f(x) is equal to k sin 1/pi pi x. Suppose that we differentiate with respect to x. Now the limits are given in the case is 0 to 5, and the function is k sine 1.5x dx is equal to 1. But these term is not differentiable, so we have to change this term into y. So in this case we will change the case in y. So suppose that where dx is equal to this term, so we have to write in place of dx is 5. So first of all, k is our constant and the new limits are 0 to pi and sine, because we change this term into y, so we can write here y, and dx, in place of dx we can write 5 upon pi and dy is equal to 1. Now 5 upon pi is also a constant, so we can put it outside from this integral. Now so k 5 upon pi is the constant, and this is the 0 to pi is our limits, and sine pi dy is equal to 1. So 5k and upon pi sine y, integral of sine y is equal to minus cos y, 0 to pi is equal to 1. And now we put the value of limits in the, so minus cos pi minus cos 0 is equal to 1. So cos pi is equal to minus 1 and cos 0 is equal to 1. So we can write here, so we have some, I need some space. So 5k on pi and minus, because the limits are 0 to pi, the value of cos pi is minus 1 and is equal to 1, and 5k on pi is equal to this is the 2, because minus minus 1 minus 2 and minus plus 2 is equal to 1. This is the 10k upon pi is equal to 1, and the value of k is equal to pi upon 10. Now the value of a is equal to pi upon 10. Now we will find the median also and the quartiles. So this is the very not complex, but you have to understand about the how to change this term into y, and after changing in y we have to also change of limits, and how to integrate in this case you can see here. And now we can also find median values. So we have the value of k, so we can write here the value of k is equal to pi upon 10. Now the term is finding of median. So how to find median? Suppose that we have to given the term fx is equal to k sine 1 upon 5 1 upon 5 pi x. Okay, this is the function of fx. Now the value of median, is the median is equal to 0 to because we have to given the limits are 0 to 5, so in this case we can write limits of 0 to 5 and k sine 1 upon 5 pi x and dx equal to 1 by, देखिए यहाँ पर आपका वैल्यू है मीडियन 0 to 5 k sin 1 upon 5 and again we change the value of this term into y, so y is equal to 1 upon 5 by x, and if we differentiate the value of this, we get pi upon 5 and dy upon dx equal to pi upon 5. Now the value of dx is equal to 5 upon pi, dy is equal to dx. So the value of dx is equal to 5 upon pi dy. Now the term of limits. So we also change the value of because the limits will be in this case 0 to m, because we have to change the n is equal to 1 by 2. So in this case, if we find the value of the median, we put the value is equal to 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 and now the k is, so our limits is 0 to pi. In this case we put the value in this x in the place of x, so we will get the values of y. Suppose in the case of x, we have given the limits are 0 to pi. Now in we put the value of x 0. Now in this term, so we get value 0 and we put the value of m, because we have to find the value of median, so we put the value in the place of x is m. So the second limit will be the 1 upon 5 pi m. So this is the second limit of our integral. So now we can write 1 by 5 pi m sine, and this term is equal to y, and dx, we can place the value of dx is equal to 5 on pi dy. So this is the value of our now we can solve these equations. So we have to give in the value of k, so we can write here pi upon 10, and we have also 5 upon pi, and so we can integrate sine y. So cos y is the answer of the sine y, 1/5 pi m, and dy, sorry, why dy, because the integrate also is done. So this is the 2, and also here is running 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 is the now we have minus cos 1 upon 5 pi m. 1 upon 5 pi m minus cos 0 is equal to 1 by 2. 1 by 2 cancel out, and cos 0 is equal to 1, so we can write here 1 minus, so we change it to, because here is a minus sign, so we can change the values of so we will find values of 1 upon 5 pi m is equal to 1. Now 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. 1 upon 5 pi m is equal to 1 minus 1 minus is 0, minus 5 minus, so here we can plus also, and cos pi upon m, so we can in the place of 0 we can write this in the case of 0 the cos cos 90 value is equal to 0, so we can write here cos pi by 2 and the cos 1 upon 5 pi m is equal to pi upon 2, so pi is the x, m, our m is equal to 5 upon 2, so our answer is 5 upon 2. Now we will find the values of the quartiles. So in this case, the main difference between median and the quartile would be, so here we write here m. If suppose that we will find the q1, that means first quartile. The first quartile means we have to write here in the place of m q1. We have to write in the place of m is q1, and here is 1 by 4, because the quartile, first quartile is equal to 1 by 4. So here in instead of 1 by 2 we have to write here 1 by 4, and here is q1. And in the case of q3, that means q3 means a third quartile. The third quartile is, we have to write here q3 and here 3 by 4, here 3 by 4. So how to calculate it in fast way? So let's begin. So our median and the k values also we have found. So our k value is 5 upon 10 and our median is equal to 5 upon 2. Now the term is q1 and next term is q3. So how to calculate out q1? q1, suppose that 0 to 5 and 1 upon k sine 1 upon 5 pi x dx is equal to 3 by, sorry, not 3 by, so the 1 by 4, and we have to write here q1. Now the k value also given, because q1 is equal to pi upon 10, so we have to write here pi upon 10, and we have to change these values in the y, because x, this is not integrable in the sign, so we have to change it because of this is the same process. We have to change only this value. Here is m, we have to change in q1, so we can write here 0 to 1 upon 5 pi 1 upon 5 pi q1, and the pi upon 10 is the constant term, sine, this is the y, and dx is equal to 5 upon pi dy is equal to 1 by 4. So 5 upon pi, pi upon 10 and 5 upon pi is the constant terms, and 0 to 1.5 pi q1 and sine y. Now this is the simplest form, and now we can integrate in the sign. So the value of this is minus cos pi, the integral and the limits are 1 upon 5 pi q1 is equal to 1 by 4, and the constant term is 1 by 2. Now they cancel out, so this is the 2. Now we put the values of the limits. So I need some space. So minus cos y 1 upon 5 pi q1 minus cos 0 is equal to 1 by 2, and the cos 0 is equal to 1, so we can here write 1 minus cos 1 upon 5 pi q1 is equal to 1 by 2, and we can write here 1 minus 2 is equal to cos 1 upon 5 pi q1. 1 by 2 is equal to cos upon 5 pi q1, and the 1 upon 2 is equal to in the case of cos, the cos pi upon 4 is equal to 1 by 2. So we can write here cos pi 4, cos 1 upon 5 pi q1 cancel out, and pi upon 4 is equal to pi upon 4 is equal to 1 upon 5 pi q1. So pi to pi, and the 5 upon 4 is equal to q1. So the value of q1 is equal to 5 upon 4. Now we will have to find the values of the third quartile. In the case of third quartile, we have to write here 3 by 4, and we have write to q3. The limits will be q3. Okay, and the same procedure will be in the case of third quartile. So this is your homework for finding third quartile. If you cannot find the value of third quartile, you can comment on the comment box. So thank you so much for seeing my video. Thank you.